Hello, so here is part two about my holiday in Whitby. Last time I was just telling you that we were a bit disappointed in the place, and I was saying that it had some shops that were a bit sort of run down and a bit sort of like cheap looking, and they sold what I like to call tat. But anyway, it had some interesting features. There's a nice harbour there. You can see the boats going in and out to sea. The beach was nice. We found some. Oh, I forgot to say, Whitby. One of the things it's famous for. I suppose maybe two things mainly. One of them is this rock called jet, which is a very black stone, so it's like polished and put into jewelry and stuff like that. And then another one is scampi, which is like prawn, like a breaded prawn, so deep fried prawn in breadcrumbs, I guess. I really like scampi, and in Whitby you can get scampi and chips. So we went to a fish and chip shop, but we had ordered scampi and chips, and I would say it was the best scampi that I've ever had. And I've had quite a lot of scampi in my lifetime. Just really good. It tasted very fresh, very different from, I don't know, scampi you'd find in other places, I guess. But yeah, really amazing. So just sat on the beach and ate scampi and chips and tried to avoid the seagulls, because sometimes you'll get like a crowd of seagulls. They'll come and look at you, and occasionally they're really naughty and they try and steal chips and fish from you, but thankfully only one spotted us, and he was just waiting there, just looking at us for a while, and then eventually he gave up and flew away. What else did we do? Luckily, the place where we were staying, next door to it, had a brewery. Well, not next door, about a 5-minute walk away, had a brewery called Whitby Brewery, probably. And it was really good. They had a range of all the sort of beers. So you started at one end, and they had the lightest, palest beer. And at the other end, the darkest one. And then in the middle, it sort of got darker and darker and darker as you went along. And I tried them all, and they were very, very good. They were brewed on site, brewed on the premises, and they also had like this big sort of room attached to the bar, and in there was like a stage, and you could see all like the brewing equipment, or some of the brewing equipment. I think some of it was outside as well, and they would have like live bands there, so you could go in and drink the beer, and you could listen to live bands. And they had like a pizza oven as well, so they served pizza. It was weird. It was like this weird combination of like a live music venue and a pizza place and a brewery all in one. But I guess, it must be working for them. The place seemed pretty popular. There was some nice outside seating as well. So you could sit outside and just look at this old sort of rundown, like broken abbey, which was really nice. And we visited there a couple of times and enjoyed the beer that they were selling very much. And the last thing we did at Whitby was to actually take a look around this abbey, which you have to pay to get into. And I really enjoyed walking around it and looking at it. I don't know why, but when I'm looking at these old sort of like church-like buildings, I like to spot all of the little places that you can walk. So normally you'll see like a tiny, tiny doorway, and then inside you'll find like spiral staircase, and it will go up to somewhere, and then you can see like, oh, you can walk around that bit. I mean, normally you're not allowed to walk there anyway. Like those kind of places are off limits to the public. But I don't know why. I like I like finding all the little paths that you can walk around in these old buildings, and just seeing where they link up to. And I did find a couple of places like that in this building, even though it was like so much of it had sort of fallen down and so much of it was missing. But it was interesting, sort of like imagining what it must have looked like. It would have been a very big abbey, and very fancy as well. But all of the stone was in really bad condition. It was sort of like wearing away. It looked a bit unsafe, to be honest. I mean, it was really tall. And I just remember this one wall standing, really high, and the wind was blowing. And it was very strong. And I was thinking, I hope this this wall doesn't fall down. But I guess someone must have looked at it and said it was safe. Anyway, I think the best thing about going to see that abbey was there was like a performance, I guess it was like a theatre group, and they put on this performance of Dracula, which apparently has a connection with Whitby, and I didn't know this. And weirdly enough, I am part of the way through Dracula at the moment, through reading Dracula, but I'm still at the beginning. So it sort of spoiled the story for me in the end. I know what happens now, but at the same time, I didn't really mind, because the play was so good. The actors were really, really good, and it was very well thought out, like the way they'd managed to portray, to like explain certain scenes. So I really enjoyed that, and I think we all did. We were all much more impressed than we thought we would be. We didn't know what to expect, really, but it was really good. It was a really good play. So I think that's about it, really, for our time in Whitby. On the way back, we decided to go to a couple of more places along the coast, more seaside resorts. We went to Scarborough, which you may have heard of if you're familiar with the song Scarborough Fair. I didn't find the fair. I don't think there is one there anymore. There may be one somewhere in Scarborough. I'm pretty sure there will be a fair in Scarborough, but it's probably not the original one that the song talks about. That place was nice. Maybe it was a little nicer than Whitby, or sort of on the same level. It was, again, it was quite commercial. Lots of those sort of like tat type shops, selling the low quality goods were there. But maybe a bit less so than in Whitby. And then the last place we went to was a place called Bridlington, which none of us really liked, to be perfectly honest. That was worse than Whitby. It was okay. It was just a sort of regular town, English town that has sort of been unloved, I think. Like, it has sort of become a bit run down, like so many towns in England have been. And the harbour was a bit, I don't know, was it a harbour? It was quite small, but it was a bit like industrial. So I wouldn't say it was a beautiful harbour. It was just like for working, for getting jobs done and stuff like that. There was a nice beach. I can say that much. The beach looked very nice. But that was about it. We just didn't seem to enjoy that place very much. So we didn't stay there very long. And then it was time to come home. Oh, no, it wasn't, because I'm forgetting. We did stop at one more place, and that was a place called Filey. And we really enjoyed that place, actually. It was small. There wasn't a lot there. There wasn't a lot of people there. They had like a small town, some places to walk along the front of the beach, I guess, like a street you could walk along, all by the front of the beach. The beach looked nice. There were some nice walks nearby, like nature type walks you could go on. It just seemed like a nice small town again, but not too over commercialized. Not too many of these tat type shops all everywhere with like bright logos and I don't know, all kinds of noise. And we went to this fish and chip shop, and it was called Ingham's, and it sold probably amongst, maybe like in the top 10 best fish and chips that I've ever had. They were really, really good. We bought them, and we looked at the size of them, and we thought, this is ridiculous. Like, they came in this box that was like, I don't know, maybe it's about like 35, 40 centimeters long. And we just opened it up, and it's just like, wow, there's too much food here. We asked for a small, but the fish was not small. It was not small at all. Maybe the chips were, but the fish wasn't. And I think, we just thought we'd never finish this. It's impossible. And I ate almost all of it, actually. I was quite surprised. It was just that good. I just kept eating it. The flavor of the chips were great. The flavor of the fish was great. The batter was nice and crunchy. It was all good. I had curry sauce with it as well, and that was a nice sort of spicy style curry sauce. They're strange fish and chips because it's sort of like, there's two ingredients, aren't there, really? You've got fish and you've got chips. But there's so much variance. There's so much, there's such a range between bad fish and chips and amazing fish and chips. And it's hard to get amazing fish and chips. And I think the reason is, I've been to places in the past, fish and chip shops, and had amazing fish and chips from there. And I've been back a year later, a couple of years later, and it's I've got to go to this place again. The fish and chips I had from there were amazing. And then I have them again, and they're disappointing. They're almost bad. I don't know why. I'm not sure what it is that changes. Sometimes the chips aren't very good, or the fish isn't very good, or both aren't very good. So it just seems like you sort of just get lucky. On this day, when I came to this fish and chip shop, the fish and chips were amazing. But I think you can go back to the same fish and chip shop later, and they're not. So I don't know if this place is always amazing. It had a big queue outside of it. So who knows? Maybe they do consistently make amazing fish and chips. But I don't know. I just think given enough time, 1 year later, 2 years later, things seem to change. Maybe they need to change the ingredients they use or something like that. But yeah, when fish and chips are amazing, they are amazing. And when they're not, they're not. I still remember the worst fish and chips I had, which was from this place in London next to the Tower of London. And we just went there with some friends. We were just hungry, and it's just let's eat here. And there are loads of tourists there, absolutely loads of them. And the worst fish and chips that I'd ever had, and we'd all agreed that they were the worst fish and chips any of us had ever had. And all these poor tourists coming to England, trying those, they must go back home and say, wow, fish and chips are horrible. And they'd be right, because those ones were, which is a shame. But like I say, it's sort of down to luck whether you're going to get good ones or not. Anyway, that is it for my holiday in Whitby. I really enjoyed it. I mean, even though Whitby didn't quite turn out to be exactly like we were hoping for, it was just nice being back in England. It was nice seeing all the English countryside again. We went for a nice coastal walk as well in Whitby. I forgot to mention, sort of getting late at night at dusk, and it went all the way along the top of these cliffs by the edge of the beach, and you could sort of look down over the cliffs, and it was a really far drop below to the beach, and you could hear the waves crashing on the beach, and that was really nice. And it's just, I don't know, just nice being back in the English countryside. I really missed it. And of course, spending time with my parents as well was really nice, a lot of fun. So yeah, it was a really good holiday. I enjoyed it a lot, and I hope to do something like that again soon. Okay, until next time, bye-bye.